Hi, I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I filmed a Get Ready With Me this morning and I don't know if I'm going to use it or post it. I was boring myself as I was talking, so I thought I would switch gears here and film a little bit of a decluttering video. There's some sections of my makeup wardrobe that could use a little bit of editing, and I thought it would be fun and helpful for me to just go through my foundations. That's what I'm going to be looking at today, and talk through what I've got, what I need to get rid of, and hopefully pare down my foundation selection. So here we go. So here we have the sum total of everything that was in my foundation drawer, and some of it's got to go because some of it's definitely not getting used. So I'm just going to sift through these and talk a little bit about my feelings on each one, and hopefully I'll be able to cut ties with at least a few of them. Alright, so I'm going to start by taking out a couple that I know I'm keeping, and one of those would be the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation, because I just got this last week and I'm still trying it out, and so far it's okay. I don't hate it. I'm not head over heels in love with it either, but it's definitely one that I could see myself continuing to use and will probably use up. So I'm going to keep that one. And likewise, I'm going to keep this Marcel Flawless Skin Fusion Foundation. Same reason, I just got it recently, and I actually really like this one. It's kind of similar to the Urban Decay one, but I think I actually have a preference for this one. It's just a nice light coverage. It wears nicely on my oily acne-prone skin, and the shade match that I have, Classic Ivory, is working pretty well for me, so I think I'll keep that one. Now the rest of these guys, though, some of them could probably go. Like this one. Why did I even buy this? It's a Physicians Formula Nude Wear Touch of Glow foundation in the shade Light, I think it is. Yeah, shade Light. If this is about at least 3 shades too dark for me, which is a shame because I actually kind of like the formula. It's a very liquidy, very smooth, blendable, light coverage foundation. I actually was using this back when I was pregnant, and my skin was less oily then, so I could get away with wearing a glowier foundation. Now it's too much glow. It's about 3 shades too dark, so I end up having to mix something with it to make it work, and it's just a pain in the butt. So I think this one's gonna have to go. What else? This one, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. This one I got from my sister. She bought it for herself and didn't work very well on her dry skin, so she gave it to me. I do like the formula of this one. It can look a little bit flat at times, though. It's quite like it is a very matte finish foundation. There's like no radiance to this whatsoever. I think I just haven't been reaching for this one that much because it does have that kind of flat finish, which I'm not crazy about, and it does settle into my pores a little bit. And it's another one that I end up mixing. I actually usually end up mixing it with this guy here. This is the Almay Smart Shade foundation in the shade Light. This one, I love the formula, but it oxidizes quite badly on me and ends up being too dark. So what I often end up doing is mixing these two together, because this one is quite pale, and when they mix together they kind of make a perfect shade. So maybe I'll hang on to those and just kind of make a point of kind of setting them out where I can see them so that I use them up. So I think those ones are going to stay in the keep pile over here. This Almay Age Essentials makeup, I've actually used quite a bit of it. It's probably down to about there. I used it a lot through the winter while my skin was drier. I like this formula. It's a nice light coverage foundation that blends in really seamlessly. It's a nice hydrating formula, so again, I was using it in the winter while my skin was more dry. I really like the shade match on this too. I think, what do I have here? Light Neutral 110 is a really good match for my skin. Yeah, the only reason I haven't been reaching for this is because my skin's gotten more oily lately, and I was just finding this was getting a little bit too rich when my skin's pumping out more oil, but I really do like it though, so I think I'm going to hang on to it just because there isn't even that much left. Like, I'm more than halfway through it, and I think I will eventually end up using this up, so I think I'm going to keep that. This isn't going so well so far, you guys. There's like 5 foundations over here in the keep pile, and 1 lonely loser over there in the get rid of pile. What else? This is actually not a foundation. This is the shade adjusting drops from the Body Shop. These are the lightning drops. These work really well. I have used them quite a bit to tweak foundations that are a little bit too dark or a little bit too orangey. My only beef with this product is it's very heavily fragranced. It's got quite a strong perfumey smell, and I generally prefer anything that's going on my skin to be fragrance free, but it was quite expensive, and I do use it from time to time. Sometimes it's nice to just have that flexibility to be able to tweak a shade, so I think I will hang on to that. Let's see, I've got 2 of the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundations. I have 2 different shades here, 112 Natural Ivory and 110 Porcelain. The 112 Natural Ivory is a hair too dark, and I think that's why I eventually ended up getting the 110 Porcelain, which is kind of a spot-on match. I am not crazy about this formula. It is very matte, and it dries very, very quickly on the skin. It's really hard to blend. It goes kind of patchy on me just because you don't have that play time to really blend it nicely. And this foundation has alcohol in it. It's about the 4th or 5th ingredient in the list, so that means there's quite a bit of alcohol in it. Like, there's enough that I can smell alcohol in this when I take a whiff. And I really don't like products that have alcohol. It just dries my skin out. It's very irritating, and it kind of sends it into a tailspin of overproduction of oil and breakouts. So this one's definitely going to go because I don't like the formula and it's the wrong shade, and I don't know anybody that I could pass that on to. And even though I really like the shade match on this one, I think I just don't reach for it because I know it's got something in it that's not good for my skin. So, and I don't think it's good for anybody's skin. I don't think anybody should put alcohol on their skin. It's just drying and irritating. So I think I'm going to part ways with those. Just a few more here. This one was kind of a disappointment. It's super cheap. It's the Essence Soft Touch Mousse Makeup, and I have the shade 4 Ivory. And when I picked this up in the store, there were no testers, so I kind of just had to eyeball my shade based on what it looks like in the container, and this one totally fooled me because in the container it looks like a nice light, kind of pale, neutral shade, and then when you open it up though, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to do with one hand. When you open it up, it's actually a lot darker and more orangey than it looks when you just look through the side of the container. So yeah, it's just too dark, and it's just got that kind of Oompa Loompa orange tint to it that it just doesn't work for me. The formula is kind of nice. It's a nice smooth silicone-y feeling kind of mousse texture, but I'm never going to use that because the shade is wrong, and because it's a mousse formula I can't really mix it with anything to make it work, so I think I'm just going to have to put that in the get rid of pile. Alright, almost done. Here I've got another mousse type foundation. This is the Revlon Colorstay Whipped. This was a favorite foundation of mine for quite a while. This is actually even the second tub of this that I've had. I went through one whole jar and got another one and then just kind of fell out of love with it. I think I used it a lot while I was pregnant, and then afterwards when my skin got really oily again, it just felt too heavy, and I think it clogs my pores and breaks me out a little bit. So I think maybe what I'll do is I'll set this one aside and see if my sister, who has dry skin, wants to give that a try. It is a really nice foundation. I just think it's not working for me, so, but I think maybe she could get some use out of it. Also from Revlon, I have the Colorstay, the regular liquid version. This is the one for combination oily skin. I'm not sure why I stopped using this one. I've used a little bit of it. I think I used this one more in the summer when I was oilier, and then I kind of got away from using it in the winter when my skin was more dry. I'm not even really sure how I feel about this one. I think I would have to try it out some more. I know the color match is pretty good. I have it in 150 buff. It's got SPF 15, which is nice to get that extra boost of sun protection in the summertime. So I think I'm going to hang on to this one because I want to experiment with it and try it out a little bit more. And then that leaves us with Maybelline Superstay Better Skin foundation in the shade Porcelain. This is another one I think I stopped using through the winter because it is more of a dry, matte finish. It's a bit tricky to blend. Color match is pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like this one when I mix it with moisturizer and kind of shear it out a little bit so that it's not so dry and flat. It's a really good color match. I have such a hard time parting with a foundation when it's a good color match because they're so hard to find, especially at the drugstore. A lot of the pale foundations have that really pink undertone that will so often turn orange on me. So when I find one that doesn't make me look like an Oompa Loompa, even if I'm not super crazy about the finish or the formula, sometimes I just feel compelled to hang on to it. I don't think I'm quite ready to let this one go yet. I think I want to try it out. We're heading into the warmer weather, and I think I might find some more use for it in the summer when my skin is more oily. So how did we do? I started out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This isn't really a foundation, but 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had 13 foundations, and I've got 4 that I'm going to get rid of, 1 that I'm going to see if my sister wants, and then I'm keeping these 8 products here. So that's not too bad. I did manage to edit that down to a more manageable amount. So thank you for watching this video. If you've stuck around, if you've stuck with it this long, thanks for putting up with my neurotic rambling as I go through my foundation collection, and I'll see you guys next time.